to the Jets Setter season preview. Today we're going to go over the offense. Tyson, one of the biggest moves of the offseason was the Jets moved on from Brian Schottenheimer and hired Tony Sparano as their offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think the Jets need a change. Schottenheimer's offense got a bit stale. It was no longer productive. It was too much movement, too much motion, and not enough results. So Tony Sparano's going back to old school smash mouth football, which is great. More accountability for the players, where guys can't slack off, and if they do slack off, they'll be held accountable. There's no more excuses now. It's either put up or shut up, play football. The Jets need that. It's a necessary evil for the Jets, and I think it's great.
Now, Sparano made his fame kind of innovating that Wildcat offense. Do you foresee any Wildcat action in the Jets offense, or was that has that come and gone from the NFL?
I think it's a little bit overrated at this point. I mean, everybody's saying Wildcat because Tim Tebow's there. Let's be honest, that's why everybody's saying it. The Jets had success with the Wildcat, but their success was running the ball. They're going back to smash mouth football, running the ball, power football. That may use some Wildcat to catch people off bounds, but I don't think you're going to see these 20 or 30 plays of Wildcat. I mean, it's a little overrated at this point in my eyes.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest issues of the 2011 offense was the offensive line. Wayne Hunter being the prime target of all the scrutiny in the offseason. What do you see from him in the 2012 season? What should we look for as Jet fans going into training camp?
Well, Wayne Hunter did struggle, but I think bringing in Sparano is going to change a lot of that because last year when Wayne Hunter struggled, he never got any help. He was on an island that he was getting his ass kicked. Now, if he's getting his ass kicked, somebody's going to help him. They're going to give him support, either a tight end, a running back in the backfield. And also, we tend to forget that it was Wayne Hunter's first year starting. A lot of learning curve. There was no preseason because of the lockout. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that built into that. So I think Wayne Hunter could be serviceable. And I think he's going to be okay. And I think he's going to get some help, too, which is pretty important as well.
Serviceable, or do you think he's going to bounce back?
I think he's going to bounce back.
Good.
Because if he doesn't, they're in deep trouble because they have nobody behind them. So.
The Jets are overhauling the wide receiver group. What should we look for going into the preseason? What do you think about the Jets receiving group as a whole?
For me, it's an area of concern, to be honest with you. You have Santonio Holmes, who's a legitimate number one receiver. And after that, it's a cast full of potential. I mean, the second-round pick, Stephen Hill, tons of speed, tons of size. But a rookie receiver usually doesn't do too much in his first year in the NFL. After him, you have Chaz Schillens, who they brought in this year, who has potential but usually gets hurt or has been hurt. Patrick Turner's an unknown. And then you have Jeremy Curley, who showed flashes last year, but again, he's still, in terms of experience, the Jets are lacking that. And for me, that's a huge concern. I wish they had a guy like Jericho Cotchery or something like that to come help bring the younger guys along. And right now, they don't have that. So it's a lot on Santonio Holmes' shoulders to load because it's just a lot of inexperience behind him.
Well, teams with weak wide receiving groups typically have stronger tight end groups. It's just it just seems to work that way in the NFL. How do you see the tight ends looking up?
Well, they have one. They have Dustin Keller, who is Sanchez's favorite target, which is a good thing, but that's all they have is Dustin Keller. I mean, they have Jeff Cumberland, who people had high expectations for, but he got hurt. And other than that, they don't have anybody. And it's a concern because in terms of blocking tight end, they don't have anybody at all. Like Matthew Mulligan was there while he was a walking penalty. At least he could block. Now, it's Dustin Keller and a bunch of unknowns. And it's got to be a concern. That's why I'm saying in terms of receiving core for the Jets, it's going to be Santonio Holmes, Dustin Keller, and then hopefully somebody else is open.
Stephen Hill, intriguing receiver prospect. 6'4", sub 4.4 speed. I mean, he has Megatron numbers, comes from the same university. A lot of comparisons are already being made. What do you expect from him this year?
Good question. I mean, I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, he can spread the field, which is going to be good for the running game. With that kind of speed, he's going to always be a threat. He's got to be accounted for. But I think teams are going to test him, make him catch the ball. I mean, you can have great speed. If you drop the ball, I mean, what the hell is the sense? So there's a potential of at least spreading the field, making some big plays, but it comes down to actually catching the ball and making those plays. Because potential is only good if you put it on the field. But again, he's a rookie receiver, so how many rookie receivers have big breakout years? Not really over the history of NFL. Not a lot have.
Okay, let's move on to the running backs. This offseason, LaDainian Tomlinson announced his retirement. How do you think his loss is going to affect the running back group as a whole? And what do you think about LaDainian Tomlinson as a player?
I think it's a big loss for the Jets for a couple of reasons. I think, first of all, as a leadership aspect. He was a huge leader in the locker room. He was a very vocal leader on offense, and many times protected Mark Sanchez from a lot of heat. In terms of like on the field, I think as a in blitz pickup he was awesome. I mean that's one of his biggest traits. As a pass receiver he was awesome, and then you have in short yardage. So in my eyes it's a huge loss because I don't think right now Sean Green or Joe McKnight has proven they can catch the ball out of the backfield consistently without fumbling the ball. So in terms of pass receiver out of the backfield, I think Tomlinson's a huge loss. And then in terms of blitz pickup, it's a concern too because he was always there. Third down and third and long, there's Tomlinson sitting right there protecting Sanchez. Now he's not there. So now Sean Green and Joe McKnight have to be held accountable to protect Sanchez and make plays out of the backfield. And can they do that? We don't know. It's a kind of an unknown. This is almost another area where you want kind of a veteran running back. And you could say that Sean Green's a veteran running back, but in my eyes, I'd rather have a veteran proven running back like an LT or I don't even know who else is even available at this point. But that's a guy like that.
There's some good ones out there.
There are some good ones out there. And I wouldn't be surprised during training camp once if they struggle in the first couple preseason games to see somebody else get signed.
Do you see something like a Cedric Benson or
I was
one of
thinking
these
Cedric
big
Benson.
names?
Even like I don't know if Ryan Grant was signed, but somebody else out
they're
there.
both still out there.
So like like once if they struggle, it's just. But see the thing is, you want a pass catcher like like a Leon Washington the Jets used to have a guy like that. Somebody catches the ball that can make big plays, and Joe McKnight could be that guy, but durability and fumbling is a concern.
Overall, what was he with the Jets for 2 years?
Yes.
LT. What were your from a pure fan perspective? Was he a success as a Jet?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, as a fan from afar, I always loved LT. To see his passion, his explosiveness, his leadership, and even at an advanced age, he made moves. You're just like, damn, like that was, the one guy in the Bills made him look like a fool, So it was awesome, great experience. I mean, I wish he didn't mouth off when he left. That's kind of annoying, but he's trying to get in TV, and that's how he's going to get there, like Tiki Barber did. Yeah.
Do you think he's a first ballot
Absolutely.
Hall of Famer?
No doubt.
Cool. Now, the Jets traded for Tim Tebow. Ever heard of him?
Never. Nor do I want to.
What do you think? How do you think this impacts the team? First of all, do you think it's going to push Mark Sanchez to be a better quarterback? Do you think the acquisition of Tebow as a whole is a negative on the Jets?
I'll stop you. This gets me so annoyed. The move for Tebow was made to sell tickets and sell jerseys. And if anybody's saying anything else, I think it's ridiculous. Mark Sanchez is a serviceable quarterback. And I think a guy like Brady Quinn or Drew Stanton were good enough to push him enough to get him to another level. But right now, all Tebow is doing is causing headlines and distractions for this team. Because the minute Sanchez struggles remotely, and it could be not at his own fault, receivers drop balls and he struggles, fans are going to call, we want Tebow, we want Tebow. It's an unnecessary distraction. So in my eyes, the move to make to get him, I think was a bad move. But now that he's here and we're dealing with it, is he going to push Sanchez? Possibly. I mean, he's a workout warrior. He studies film. But I think Sanchez is too. I think he's underrated in many aspects. He's getting a raw deal in certain areas because now he's everybody's favorite whipping boy. Sanchez stinks. He does this. His demeanor stinks. But he took a beating last year. Guys were dropping pass. There was so many reasons why he didn't play well last year other than his own performance that everybody's just piling on now. So now what could Tebow bring to the table? He may push him. He may help. He may bring some leadership to the locker room, which is great. He may be able to run the ball. He's put on size, which I'm not sure if that's going to help slow him down when running the ball. He's taking MMA training, which is awesome for flexibility, but I mean, I just don't see it. I see, it's a passing league. The NFL's a passing league. If you cannot consistently pass the ball, you're going to struggle.
Well, I can't see them bringing him on the team specifically for punt protection.
No. And they're trying to see what the Jets are trying to do is they made the move for the big splash, and now they're trying to back off from it. And it's like almost laughable at this point. Oh, he's going to be on kick returns. He's going to do this. That's all nonsense. The fact is, I wouldn't be. They want him to play because that's what they want to happen. So however they get him on the field, they're going to try to do that. But it's going to be as a quarterback and nothing else.
For the Jets offense.
Good question. I think as great as the Jets defense could be, I think the Jets offense is going to struggle. There's a lot of question marks at receiver, at running back. I just don't know where you can put your hat on to say this is going to be the strength of the offense. Your running backs, you have, teams are going to stack the box to stop the run to force you to pass the ball. That's what they're going to do. So the Jets are going to have to pass the ball if they want to or not. Can they do that? I don't know. It's not a mark on Sanchez. It's a question on can the receivers get open? Can the running backs pick up the blitz? There's so many intangibles that go into a passing game that I'm not sure, especially early in the season, if they're going to have success with that. So in terms of the Jets are going to be a top 10 offense, I'm going to say no. I think they're going to struggle. I think you're going to see a lot of field goals. I think you're going to see it could be a lot of low-scoring games. I mean, I don't see explosive offense based on how they're built right now. Thank you for checking out the JetSetter season preview. Follow us all year long on jetsetter.com, where we'll do game previews, game reviews, and everything Jets. Feel free to check me out on Twitter, I'm TRoush21, and on Facebook, where I'm Tyson Roush. Thanks again, and don't forget to say hi to Alf, too. Talk to you later.